Hello and welcome to GNO. It's Gaia Night Online, and this is our weekly show where we come together to pull cards for the week ahead. And I think you're going to just be with me this week because a lot of our Gaia team is having some things going, but I have a new deck. And I'm really excited to pull cards for the week ahead from my new deck, which is, I'm showing you the box, the 78 Tarot. So basically, 78 different artists came together to make this deck, and it's so amazing. I've been having so much fun with it. Here, this is just the top card. This is the Ace of Pentacles. And just to show you, you know, a totally different, here's the Eight of Cups. So it's really fun, the different creativity that is in this deck. So we're going to be pulling cards for this week ahead, and we're starting off with the moon shifting into Taurus tomorrow, Tuesday, December 2nd. We already pulled moon and Aries for last week. So the cards that I pulled for moon and Taurus, I'm pulling from 78 Tarot and Goddess. I actually pulled the Devil card from 78 Tarot, and then I pulled Vast Independence, and I really like this combination. You know, the Devil card, people, you know, can sometimes take that as, oh, it's evil, it's bad. And you know what? I like to look at this card as it can be temptation. And especially when it comes to Taurus. Taurus is all about sensuality, which is like the five senses. But with this Devil card, it might be like, hey, when it comes to these five senses, what are you addicted to? What are you trapped by? What is your temptation that lures you in past where you want to go, like to the point that you're actually uncomfortable, to past the point of enjoyment, the point where you're like, this needs to stop and I'm addicted. And so this Devil card and then Vast together is like, hey, free yourself. Find your independence. Find that inner spirit that is going to free you from that. And it says your independence is a foundation for your strength and success. So be aware of that, especially during Sagittarius. Sagittarius can definitely be an indulgent time. So if you find yourself on your 6th cup of coffee or, you know, having a martini before noon or something like that, that might be your key. Like, wait, there may be some draw that's a little bit more than where I really want to be with this. So, you know, pay attention to that. Our next event on Thursday, December 4th, we have Mars moving into Aquarius. And Mars in Aquarius is definitely a very humanitarian placement. So for this, I pulled Temperance, Temperance in the 78 Tarot deck. And this picture actually in here represents Archangel Gabriel, I believe. Is that what it is? Yes. It's an angel, possibly Gabriel. And so this is actually a card that's like diplomacy. And it's like understanding yourself and being patient, finding the patience. And I think that's really great for Mars, which is very passionate. Find the patience in yourself for humanity. And Gabriel, you know, is the archangel of communication. So find your patience and communicate, allow the healing. And then the other card from the goddesses that I pulled was Mawu, Mother Earth. And it says you were called upon to help with environmentalism, which I think can be very Aquarian, but I also think, you know, it's not really environmentalism, but being kind to your fellow humans is one of the most amazing humanitarian acts that we can do. And I think it's one of the most amazing things for our planet right now. So as part of your help for Mother Earth, find your kindness, find your temperance, find that healing for your fellow Earthlings. So those are those cards. All right, so the next thing that we have up is we actually have a full moon in Gemini. So that is happening on Saturday at 4:27 a.m. We'll have our full moon in Gemini. And I love this card that I pulled from the 78 Tarot. I pulled the Knight of Cups, which is actually a really great card. I don't know if you can really tell how wonderful it is from this. it's a very powerful thing. Cups are our emotions, it's our feelings, and the knight like rushes in like a knight in shining armor. So this can be a very romantic card. But the thing is, what's really funny about this card, I really like it for the Gemini moon. I can say this because I'm a Gemini rising. It's warning you not to just be all knight in shining armor with no substance underneath. It's there's a comment in this deck about this knight maybe being all talk and no trousers. So, you know, Gemini can be very good. Gemini wants to, you know, talk up the moment and be in the moment, and it may not always have that reality base with it. So this card, I think, is bringing in reality. And I love, or reminding you to bring in the reality, not just to be the Gemini talk about it, but the reality of the moment. And Nematona, the goddess card, is saying create a sacred space, a sacred altar to connect with the divine. So this is saying, like, bring in the substance to this moon. Don't just be in that place of like, yes, it's the full moon, it's glorious, which is so fun. But actually take a moment and ground in that energy. Be more than just the talk of the full moon. Be the energy of the full moon. All right, so that's what I feel for that. Next thing, we have the moon shifting into Cancer on Sunday. And the card I pulled for that, this is a really interesting combination of cards that I pulled for this. I pulled the Hierophant. I'm pulling a lot of the Major Arcana cards. Hierophant, which I love this. Look at that card with her dancing. And then I pulled Isis, Past Life Memories. And this connection of cards is really interesting to me. The Hierophant, usually this card is kind of more like, you know, a man of the church, a high spiritual person. But here there's this woman, and she's dancing. And you can't really see it, but there's these flower petals or leaves that are circling around her. And she's connecting to spirit in the moment. And I like that. I think, you know, the moon in Cancer is always a very intuitive time. It's a great time to connect in and feel like what is going on. We're going to have a lot of the water energy. We're going to have a grand trine in water with this moon in Cancer. So, you know, connecting to spirit, get in touch. And I think, you know, being that we're going to pull one more card, which is Jupiter retrograde. Jupiter retrograde may have us feeling disconnected. So this is going to be a really powerful time to connect and recognize, even if it doesn't always feel like that, spirit's there. And then I pulled Isis, Past Lives. So, you know, Cancer sometimes deals with holding on to things. So maybe you'll have some past life stuff come up. And if so, you know, spirit may be trying to tell you something. Hey, there's something you need to dance with in your life right now. So that's for the moon in Cancer, which takes us through Monday. And our next GNO show is next Monday. But before our show, Jupiter is going to go retrograde in Leo. And anytime a planet goes retrograde, it's a great time to look within. And Jupiter in Leo is all about our inner child and our heart and our creativity. It's really bringing that forward. I love this card that I pulled for Jupiter retrograde. I pulled the Six of Pentacles. And there's a lot of balance going on in this card. And I think, you know, that's one of the things of retrograde, especially, you know, planet going forward is always like, boom, 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 you know, outward. And so this takes us and gives us the balance of having it within. And so this is also reminding you of the balance of giving and receiving. You know, and Leo is a very generous sign. Jupiter is a very generous planet in Leo, which is a very generous sign. And so maybe you've been giving a lot with Jupiter and Leo, or maybe you've been receiving a lot. And so, you know, pay attention to that and see if maybe you can balance. Maybe there's a little bit more that you can give. Maybe there's a little bit more that you can receive. This may even come in, you know, lessons. Jupiter loves higher learning. And so maybe it's time to take a lesson in painting. Maybe you've been giving to your work, and it's time to give to yourself in a new way of learning a new technique, or going to YouTube University and learning something from there. But find some balance in whatever Jupiter and Leo's been bringing for you. And the Goddess card is Rhiannon, Sorceress. And it says you are a magical person who can manifest clear intentions into reality. And I think this is reminding you, hey, just because Jupiter is seemingly turning within, you haven't lost your magic. The magic is in you. The magic is with you. The magic is in every moment. So don't forget that that magic is with you. So those are the cards for this week from me. It's fast because it was just me. But thank you for joining me, and hopefully more people will be here next week. Have a beautiful week. Namaste.